hypnotic, magical, hypnotic, magical, hypnotic, magical. I don't wanna let you know you're so hypnotic, magical. So hypnotic, magical. don't wanna let you know you're so hypnotic, magical. Don't wanna let you know you're so hypnotic, magical.
Gymnasium for this JumboCast presentation of Tufts women's basketball. Tonight, they are facing off against the Emmanuel College Saints here again at Cousins. My name is Jared Cohen. I'm joined by my good friend David Latham, and we should be in for what at the very least is quite an interesting matchup tonight between the 5-2 Jumbos and the 3-5 Saints. Now, both teams, I hesitate to say, this early in the season would consider this a must-win game, but Jumbo's coming off a loss to MIT, and the Saints under 500, somewhere they are not usually at. Both are very, very, very dedicated to coming out of this game and eventually this season on a high note.
Yeah, I mean, Jared, you look at the Jumbos, the first loss of the season against RIC. At that point, they were the number 4 team, RIC the number 5. That's a loss you maybe accept, your first game of the season. Obviously, there are some early season hiccups, and that's no joke of an opponent. The last game against MIT, really a tough one to drop for Tufts. They went into that game expecting to win. They had 5 in a row after that opening season loss, and they couldn't get one to go from 3. They struggled late in the game defending on the drive. They couldn't get their efficiency to where it needed to be to come away with that win, and now at 5-2, listen, from a general perspective, that doesn't sound like a bad record, but that is not the record that this team, with the hopes they had coming into the season, wants at this point. They could be 7-0. They want to be 7-0.
And I'm sure that they want to win out at this point. Now, for Emmanuel, they are coming in. This is a team with a coach with a storied history. And as I said, 3-5 is not somewhere that they expected to be. Tell me a little more about the history of this program and how things have kind of been shook up this year.
Yeah, well, I'll start with what a loss means. A loss in this game puts them at 3-6, which gives them the same number of losses they had in the entire year last season. I mean, obviously a very solid campaign, 22-6, going to the GNAC championship. A win today puts them at 4 wins, which saves Coach Yasinov from the lowest number of wins he has had in the season in his career since his season was cut short by the blizzard of 78. So he has been around with this program for a while. His impact cannot be understated. He's seen a lot of games between his Emmanuel team and this Tufts University team. Recent history, that game has fallen towards the Tufts side in the last 11 matchups, but they've won a lot over the years, the Emmanuel side, and they will look to set the record straight today and get back on track.
So Tufts comes into this game. They were 8th in the nation before the MIT game. They've fallen to 17th in the nation, 18th in the nation, 16th. Third time's the charm. 16th in the nation following that loss to MIT. So still ranked up there with some of the better programs in the country, but of course a little bit of a dip. Meanwhile, Emmanuel not ranked, but as we said, they were in the GNAC championship game last year. They have a history of NCAA tournament appearances under Coach Yasinov, and hopefully will put up quite a fight to the Jumbo so far today. We will pause for the national anthem, and we'll be right back here at Cousins Gymnasium. And so we have returned for this matchup between the Tufts Jumbos and the Emmanuel College Saints. Now are the starting lineups.
Yeah, and that's the starting lineup we've been expecting this season, with the exception of freshman Caitlin Bartash getting her first start at the center position as opposed to Shakira Katant, which would be the norm. She's been solid on the defensive end this season. They know Tufts in the last game got most of their success down low, going to Maggie Rogers, and that Sam Souza has had a lot of success down low. Standing at 6'4", Bartash really has been their rim protector that season. That's where she stood out, 16 blocks so far, and that's probably the impact they're looking for her and subbing her into the starting lineup.
Yeah, over 2 blocks a game from Bartash, so they will be rolling out Bartash at center with Robinson, Eubanks, Atuahini, and Matella. As for the Jumbos, your starting lineup of Callie O'Brien, Sophia Gonzalez, Samantha Souza, Annika Decker, and Maggie Russell. So rolling with what has worked so far. We'll note that Sarah Crossett is available for Tufts today. This will be her first game since January 21st of last year. As a freshman, she came off extremely hot, started every game of the season as a true freshman until an unfortunate injury ended her season. So we may be seeing her return tonight, but if we are, it will not be as a starter. So we're rolling with what's working if you're the Jumbos, and a little bit of a change for the Saints with Bartash entering the starting lineup. Katant has struggled so far in the starting role. Only 6 for 32 from the floor the entire season. Starting center, that's not going to get it done. I think that was made clear. And now a 6'4" replacement for her coming into the game.
Yeah, I mean, for Bartash, in her freshman campaign, she's seen the floor pretty regularly, 16 minutes a game. She's played in every game, just not usually getting that starting spot. She'll look to up her free throw percentage. She's going to draw a lot on this Tufts team today. She's not struggled drawing fouls down low, but she has struggled converting at the line. We'll see if she can improve on that mark today as she lines up with Maggie Russell over the Jumbo.
And the tip-off is won by the Emmanuel Saints. Atuahini immediately cuts to the basket, lays it off, but a turnover, and that has been a problem for the Saints this year. Immediately down the other end, quick movement from the Jumbos. O'Brien controls.
Yeah, and specifically, you mentioned assists and turnovers being a problem. The ratio there is the problem. They haven't had, not only have they struggled with ball movement, but also ball security. And you have to think that the absence of Yenmin Chen from this lineup has been a major factor there.
Decker throws to the corner. O'Brien short on the 3, tipped by Russell, and she will save it. Recovered by O'Brien, and the possession continues for the Jumbos. Kicks out to Decker. Early 3 for her is long. Rebound to Atuahini.
And this is sort of tail of the tape so far, as that has been a struggle from the Jumbos so far this season. Around 44% from the field, but struggling from deep, around 28% so far in the season.
Another turnover. This time Matella gives it away to Russell in transition. Pulls up from 3. Long again. Rebound to Gonzalez. Goes back up. Another offensive rebound. This time Russell going to kick out, and a turnover. Atuahini gets it. It's a one-on-one. Only Decker in front of her puts up the layup. No good. And a struggle for the ball. Kicked out. Reset towards the middle. The short jump shot way off. Neither team unable to get anything going on the first couple possessions. O'Brien slows it down to Souza. Gets it inside to Russell. A good look, but can't get it to go. So everything a little bit short. Back the other end, Robinson will take it up strong for the first points of the game.
And in terms of efficiency, Desiree Robinson, one of the few players on this team that has maintained her mark from past season. She's an experienced player, a vet that this team looks to. I mean, she and Matella, the only 2 players to start every game last season. She was 49% from the field in that campaign. So far, she's 47%, while watching a lot of her teammates just struggle to get them to fall so far this season.
Definitely someone they will look to for efficient scoring, and she does get them on the board first. The other end, Decker penetrates. Out to Souza. Head fake. Pull-up jump shot is good. And Souza continues what has been a breakout campaign for her, averaging over 13 points per game. She has gone from one of the least efficient players on the team to perhaps the most efficient player on the team, over 50% from the field and from 3. She's 1 of 1 tonight. Matella tries to respond, can't get it. Rebound to Bartash. Back out, Matella. Robinson inside to Eubanks. Off glass, no good. Rebound to Souza.
Yeah, and I mean, you talked about Souza's campaign so far this season. Well, one thing she struggled with last year was efficiency. One thing she has not struggled with this year is efficiency. I mean, her shooting percentages have been absurd. To do this kind of numbers she's been doing, playing just about the most minutes on this team, scoring around 13 a game, she's really had, it's not been a problem of load, and at the same time, she shot 57% from outside the arc.
And off the nice pass from Souza, Russell gets a short jump shot to go, but you're absolutely right. Souza has been maybe the main difference between last season and this season as the shot is blocked. Atuhini gets the rebound, puts it back up, no good. Back up top, Metella lines up a three. Banks it in. First three-pointer of the game for either team, makes it 5-4 for Emmanuel College.
Yeah, and that, even for Metella, who perhaps has struggled a little bit less from the field, she also has struggled from three-point land. That has not been this team's strong suit so far this season. I mean, really only three players who take the three. You got Metella, Atuhini, and Schurman, the freshman, and none of those players exceeding the 30% mark so far this season.
Souza, meanwhile, finds her bread and butter with another short jump shot, so both teams trading baskets so far. A little step back from Metella. That one's no good, but a nice move. Russell looks to push the pace. In the corner, Callie O'Brien, short. Pushing the pace in transition. Atuhini gets past the entire Jumbo's team and sinks the right-handed layup. A nice crossover. Got her right to the rim. And the quickness that she showed in her breakout year last year at Northern Vermont University Johnson, very apparent early. Russell kicks into Souza. Back out. Sofia Gonzalez for three. Short again.
And it just seems that there's a lid on the basket so far when Tufts pulls up from outside.
That will be a charging foul, says the referee, on Desiree Robinson. So another turnover for Emmanuel, something we will be keeping track of today. It really has been one of the bigger reasons why they have fallen under 500 so far. But a solid start to the game, 7-6 is the score, and they've been able to get it to go in the paint, including one long-range shot. Obviously something they have not hit from as efficiently this year, but now the Jumbos on offense. It's going to be Souza, but no good from three. Fight for the ball. Bartash is all over that. It will remain Tufts' possession.
And Aspazi has been another source of efficiency and energy this Tufts team has looked to off the bench so far this season, putting around 18 minutes a game. We talked about assist turnovers. That element of efficiency is a problem for Emmanuel. Annie Aspazi so far, as Gonzalez gets a three to fall, has been an example in that regard. And almost 3 assists for every turnover she gives up.
First off the bench tonight, as she has been so far this season. Atuhini makes a nice pass off the drive, and it is finished off strong by Eubanks. Good sign from Gonzalez, hitting a three on the other end. She's been more efficient from two so far, over 50% so far this year, but less efficient from three. And if she can get that going again, it will really be one of the bigger aspects of this Jumbo's team in terms of narratives going forward. Souza off the drive, right-handed shot. Short, rebounded, tipped around, and it will stay Jumbo possession. So Aspazi immediately making an impact on the offensive glass, but could not get that one to fall.
And you talked about Gonzalez happy to get that three to go. Last year, she was 3-point specialist. And I'm talking a bit about last year, this year, because a lot of things have sort of changed on this team. Led the league in 3-point field goals, led the team in 3-point field goal percentage. This year, she struggled from there. How does she played a role in this team? She's made it up in other areas. Her defense has improved markedly, and her efficiency inside the arc has as well.
You're absolutely right, and I think, as I said, if that three-pointer starts falling, she will be as well-rounded as she ever has been for this Jumbo's team. Schuerman in the game now with Katant as well for Emmanuel. This is Katant. Makes a move and is whistled for the traveling violation. Decker looking to facilitate the Tufts offense. Quickly back up top to Aspazi. Back to Gonzalez. Wants to hit another one, but can't get it to go. Out of bounds. Emmanuel possession.
And I mean, listen, when they haven't been falling, she hasn't been afraid to keep taking them. And that really, in a three-point shooter that we know has the ability she has, is not a negative trait. With the amount of confidence she has, I mean, she's taken 45 threes so far this season, the high on the team by far. Not always have they been falling, but if she keeps shooting like this, we're sure she's going to find that rhythm she had last year.
You know, as Dion Waiters once said, I'd rather miss 30 shots than miss 5 shots, because if I missed 5, that means I stopped shooting. And I lost confidence. And I think Sofia Gonzalez, someone we know who will get hot from 3, should keep shooting 100%. More subs on. Sophia Davis enters the game for Tufts along with Stella Galanis. Robinson to inbound. Quickly to Eubanks. Ball movement for Emmanuel. Working in the mid-range. Nice crossover off the glass and called for a foul that will send Metella to the line.
Yeah, and Metella, as I was sort of talking about with Robinson earlier, another veteran on this team and source of consistency for them, starting all 28 games last season, leading the team in minutes, second in points behind Yinmin Chen, whose absence we noted to have negatively affected this team so far. So they look to her as sort of their second in command to step into that leadership role in her absence.
Yeah, and she has been their most consistent scorer so far. You can see it early, just confident in her dribble, confident in the mid-range. Sinks the first free throw, second coming now. And she hits both. A career, she's at 70% from the line for this season, averaging over 14 points per game. Efficiency's down a little in her extended role, but definitely someone they will look to. Score is now 11-9, and a press has been instituted from Emmanuel. Easily broken, passed off to Michaela Paquette, who has entered the game, and she immediately gets the left-handed layup. So Annika Decker makes that press look like nothing.
Yeah, and at some point your youth basketball coach told you never try to dribble through a press. But when you have the ball handling of Annika Decker, and it seems poorly researched as it was in that pass scenario, sometimes it works. A quick pass to Paquette, and it's an easy bucket.
On the other end, however, Emmanuel gets it right back with a nice pass of their own. So now Jumbo's down 2. Sophia Davis to Paquette in the middle. Mid-range jump shot is good.
And part of how Emmanuel has stayed in this game and kept it 13-13 so far is that ball movement has been pretty solid. Their drop-offs and down low have been pretty good. That's something we expected out of them historically, but they've struggled with so far this season. So a solid fix from them so far.
Jump shot no good for Schuerman. Pushing the pace is Aspezi. Finds Davis. Paquette in the middle, looking for the ball. She'll get it. Kicks to the corner. Galanis back out. Decker looking to reset with 2 minutes left in the quarter, 15 on the shot clock. Drives left. Back to Davis in the middle. She gets bumped, and the foul.
And Decker reading the screen well there, finding space. A little bit of a dropped pass to Davis, but she reads that she has just enough space to get a pump fake and at least get to the line for 2. You make it anyways. Now we might be looking at 3. Got some wood to knock on here.
Davis, the sophomore, standing 5'10", broke out in a big way in her freshman year. First couple games was the most efficient player on the team, really over 50% from the field, over 50% from 3, unable to really hold on to that role, and she's been stuck in a similar role so far this year, but definitely a player that Coach Pace trusts to come off the bench and contribute, as she has done so far. Back on the Emmanuel side. Megan Riley has entered the game for Emmanuel. She is 6 foot tall, another one of the tall women on this team. No foul called there on the contested short-range jump shot. Pushing the pace, here's Davis, lays it off, and a good defensive play by Megan Schuerman to poke that out of bounds. So we are under 2 minutes to go here in the first quarter as Sofia Gonzalez re-enters the game for Aspezi, who made an immediate impact off the bench. And Bartash re-enters as well, this time for Schuerman. Davis, top of the key. Dribble handoff with Gonzalez. Back to Callie O'Brien. Screen from Paquette. O'Brien. 3, no good from Galanis, but another offensive rebound for the Jumbos. They've been fighting. Back out. Gonzalez from the corner. Short. Rebound to Riley. And a foul.
Yeah, and I mean, I talked a bit about Bartash's impact. You talked a bit about Sherman's impact. This is a team that's had a lot of confidence in their freshmen so far. I mean, they have 4 freshmen who have played in every single game, who've seen the court in every single game. Kalia Saunders, Emma Tenters, and the 2 we mentioned. That's usually a rarity. You see a lot of teams in D3 women's basketball wait a few games for freshmen to see the court, especially if they don't maybe wow in preseason to a certain amount of extent because, experience has so much impact. But so far, they've had a lot of confidence in their freshmen.
No good in the paint, but rebounded by Bartash, and she puts it back up and in. Close game as we near the end of the first quarter. Here comes O'Brien. Foul called, and it'll be a baseline out of bounds.
And he doesn't seem to be on the sideline, but you have to think that Coach Yasinov would be happy with this sort of start to the game. This is where they got killed in the last game against Trinity, another NESCAC opponent who recently passed Tufts in the rankings. They lost by 16, and they give a 14-point lead early in the first quarter. So early controlling the pace was a struggle for them. So far tonight, it hasn't been.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, and I think the Jumbos have gotten up a lot of three-point shots. They haven't been falling, aside from that one from Sofia Gonzalez, and that's really what's kept the game close. So now shot clock and game clock only a 1-2 second difference. See if they hold. No, but three-pointer for Schuerman, and she knocks that down. So a second three-pointer from Emmanuel as they take the lead late here in the first. Under 15 seconds to go, and O'Brien will hold for most likely the final shot. Gonzalez pump fake. Finds Souza. 3 seconds to go. Souza pulls up. No good. And that will take us almost to the end of the first quarter. 0.2 seconds left.
Yeah, and as they'll do the customary pass it and let 2 go here, if you watch Tufts women's basketball and you watch this first quarter, shockingly similar to the first quarter against MIT in their last game.
For sure.
Where they had a number of advantages, but they struggled to get shots to fall. They struggled with they created sloppy plays on defense and were able to create turnovers, but struggled with the same thing on the offensive end. And it just felt like they weren't converting on opportunities and could have run away, could have established themselves better earlier. They really broke out in the fourth quarter, sort of switched the strategy, started going to Maggie Russell down low, just pounding it in the post, everybody crashing, and that was working.
I think safe to say, haven't seen enough of Maggie Russell so far. Definitely been an effort to keep her minutes down at the start of this season, but I mean, you look at the box score, 7 of 22, under 32% from the field, but really, stat that jumps out, 1 of 10 from 3 compared to 2 of 2 for Emmanuel. So a discrepancy that we probably didn't expect. Again, only a 2-point game, but a strong start for Emmanuel at over 40% from the field. I am confident to say, though, for viewers at home, I expect that this 18-16 score will be more points than you see in tonight's Thursday night football game between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the New England Patriots, but that's to little solace to Patriots fans out there.
Yeah, that didn't really feel necessary, Jared. We can just talk about this game. I don't need to. Now you've got me in a bad mental space.
So is life. As we reach the beginning of the second quarter at Cousins Gymnasium, 10 minutes on the clock.
Nothing like some good old-fashioned Division III basketball.
Exactly, and we will
to get
see
you back.
Mallory Folliard's first appearance of tonight with Decker, O'Brien, Souza, and Gonzalez. Atuahini brings in the ball for Emmanuel. Sherman screen set by Bartash. Looking for her, can't find her. Atuahini for 3. Banks it in. So another three-pointer, 3 for 3. Emmanuel has 2 of those being banked in.
Yeah, and this is sort of a dream start for this Emmanuel team. They don't pull up a lot from 3, and so far there's been a reason for it, but when you get your first 3 to fall, perhaps things start clicking and your confidence increases.
Emmanuel in a zone look right now. Ball gets to Souza on the baseline, goes up and banks it in.
And one place where Tufts has not struggled is breaking down all the defensive switches that Emmanuel has thrown at them so far in this game.
Atuahini drives and is held up in midair, so a jump ball, and it will be Jumbo possession. Annie Ryan, the freshman from Westfield, New Jersey, has entered the game for the Jumbos. We've seen her throughout this season. Controls the ball at the top of the key to Gonzalez. Now Souza, pump fake, drives hard, kicks to the corner. 3 is up from Ryan, but no good. Gonzalez, a strong rebounder for her size, pulls that one down. Pump fakes the 3. No backdoor cut to be found, and a turnover.
Yeah, and I mean, that's one of the places where Gonzalez and honestly this starting lineup in general have struggled this season. 18 turnovers so far in the season for her, and it's not just her struggle.
As you say that, Matella goes right by Gonzalez in the defensive end with a nice crossover move.
And that hasn't been the norm so far this season as compared with the last thing I mentioned. Last year she struggled a little bit on defense. That hasn't been the tale this year. She's been getting in passing lanes, making stops up top. When players have gotten by her, she's stuck with the play, gotten a couple nice chase down blocks in that last game, but Olivia Matella's strong right drive, a bit too much on that occasion.
Folliard got on the board with a nice pass inside, so 23-20 is your score. Back the other way, Emmanuel, handoff, faked. And a jump shot, short, rebound, bobbled. We'll see what the call is. Jumbo possession.
And it's Gonzalez knocking it around off the hands of Caitlin Bardash in that example. She's giving up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 inches in that matchup. Strong hustle play.
6'4" Bartash and the 5'4" Decker. I mean, truly an impressive display of effort there. As Decker comes the other way, Aspesi back in the game. Surveying. Haven't seen Maggie Russell in a little bit. Cut back door, Paquette, and gets it to go, and the foul. So Paquette has made an immediate impact off the bench today.
Yeah, and she wasn't looking for that draw there. She was just going straight up with a strong. You saw her turn to get back on defense immediately after getting the bucket. And she's not complaining, though, to be at the line after getting knocked in the back a little bit.
Little delay as Matella reties her shoelace. Paquette's free throw up and good. So she completes the and one and ties the game at 23. Tuhini inside to Matella. Looking to make a move, spin move, fadeaway jump shot, well short, a collision. No foul, out of bounds, Jumbo possession. Coach Yasinov calling for something from the sideline. Very animated as Decker brings the ball up. Souza inside to Paquette, and another one in the paint. Paquette really making an impact.
Yeah, and summing her into the game, really a solid strategic move so far from Coach Pace. She's been moving off ball so effectively. Her time with the ball in her hands to baskets ratio has been
phenomenal,
impressively low. And that's sort of really just fundamental efficiency that you want off the bench.
Paquette tips the ball on the rebound there, recovered by Souza. And now Jumbos look to extend their lead. Decker to Ryan. In the middle to Souza. Going to look for Paquette again, but that one intercepted. And pushing the pace.
Yeah, and this time, I mean, you see Eubanks switch off to go to front guard the pass down low. They read that play. Bartash a little bit off guarding again. She didn't have the positioning, but the help there blocks it off.
Tuhini looking for the screen from Eubanks. She gets it, goes left. Dribble handoff with Matella. Again, dribbling in the middle, but plucked by Annie Ryan. A beautiful steal. And Annika Decker full speed the other way. Looks to the corner, back to Decker. Now Souza going to pull up from 3. Just in and out. Strong crash, but no rebound for Aspesi. Matella, great pump fake jab step, but doesn't get Decker to bite. Robinson looking to size her defender up. Going to go left, go up with the right hand. Long, rebound to Aspesi. under 6 minutes now in the second quarter. Decker for three, money. And a timeout from Emmanuel. So what was a hot start has now turned a little bit in Tufts' favor, and it is 28-23 with 5 minutes, 13 seconds left. Again, I want to note, we have not seen Maggie Russell in a while.
Yeah, and I mean, Decker getting her first three of the season on that last play. They're hoping that'll start the microwave because that has been a struggle point for them so far. Maggie Russell replaced by Michaela Paquette in that last stanza there, and she was successful. Her movement off ball was really impressive, as I mentioned. She was going up with it strong, and you mentioned that they may be doing a little bit of load management for Maggie Russell so far. If somebody subbed in for her and it ain't broke, might as well not fix it.
I agree with you 100%, and Decker, as you mentioned, that is her first three-pointer of the year. Over 50% from the field, however, coming to this game, so she's been scoring efficiently, albeit on low volume, doing all the things she always does for this team. Get that three-point shot to go in addition to the efficiency she has shown from inside the paint, and I think that's a great combination for Tufts. Russell will remain on the bench. Paquette goes back to the bench, replaced by Caitlin O'Boyle, the junior. And a quick bucket from Eubanks. Decker now finds O'Boyle, tries to get it inside to Souza. That backdoor action's been working, but not there. Katant also back in the game. She's running up the floor looking for the ball. Batted away by O'Boyle, and fighting for the ball is Decker. It will be a jump ball and will remain Emmanuel College possession, but Annika Decker, as always, doing the little things to help the Jumbos pull ahead.
Yeah, and you talk about what happened on the other end there. Emmanuel, after getting the download pass right up, worked on them 3 or 4 times in a row, making the proper adjustments now 2 times in a row. Instead of back guarding low, they've read the pass and gone for the interception, and it's working.
Gonzalez kicks the ball out of bounds. Robinson again to inbound. 3-point game. Looking and finding Eubanks, kicks back out to Robinson. Short jump shot is short and rebounded, fought for, picked up by Souza. Aspezi the other way. Gonzalez. Back to Aspezi. Open jump shot, long 2, nothing but net.
Yeah, and you catch it where you shoot it, but you got to think she's hoping she was just 6 inches further from the basket there. Nonetheless, points are points. Pretty jump shot from Annie Aspezi.
Katant dribble handoff. Step back, no good. Decker sees Gonzalez. Elects to go to Souza instead. Little step through move and gets it to go. Samantha Souza, just a pure scorer this season.
And it's remarkable efficiency in the post. She has developed such a collection of those little 1-2-step post moves, bringing the ball over the top, little fake turn and in moves, and they just allow her little floater jump shots she's so comfortable with.
And she holds up on defense right there, currently leading second on the team with 8 points so far today. Gonzalez pulls up in transition, and that one goes as well. So the Jumbos heating up in the paint from 3, and that lead is now 10, 35-25 with under 4 minutes to go in the second quarter.
Yeah, and it seemed like there was a lid on the basket in that first quarter, but somebody brought a can opener because ever since that first one fell, the Jumbos seeming to find their rhythm here. 3 minutes to play in the half.
So Paquette is 4 for 4 from the field, 1 of 1 from the free throw line. She's got 9 points. That was Gonzalez's second 3 of the game. She's got 6. And, of course, Samantha Souza, 4 for 8 with 8 points, 4 rebounds, and 3 assists, including an offensive rebound. I think Souza has just been aggressive, and you really love to see that. 8 shots already today. Russell, only 3 shots, 2 points so far. We'll see if we see her again before the end of the half. Doesn't look like it. But Jumbo's definitely excited about what they've got going in the second quarter. Going to need a response from Emmanuel, who have been playing well. Definitely a solid start to the game for them, but a team that doesn't really shoot a lot of threes, they're going to need to be a little more efficient inside the arc if you're going to want to whittle away at a 10-point lead already in the first half. Atuhini. Oh, Gonzalez comes sliding in, but can't get the steal.
And that sort of hustle around the perimeter is where we've seen her impact come on the defensive end this season.
And there we go, a turnover O'Brien to Davis. Pump fake up and in. So turnover turns into points for the Jumbos, and a beautiful pass and a great head fake from Sophia Davis.
And a little bit of deja vu there. That's exactly how we saw her get her first bucket. She senses a defender on her back shoulder. Pump fake, watches him fly. Easy two.
It's the fundamentals that will get you going. Jump shot clangs off the rim for Eubanks. And again, Jumbo's pushing now. Under 3 minutes to go, and they want to run up this score. O'Boyle looking, finding Davis in the corner. Cuts baseline back to O'Boyle. One step and fouled, going up for a layup. 2 free throws.
And as you've seen the rhythm increase for this Tufts team, you've seen the ball movement increase for this Tufts team. They're making sharper, crisper passes, fewer lobs up top. That worked for a while. It stopped working. Now you see them sprinting around the perimeter, drive and cut, drive and cut, drive and pass. That's working.
Yeah, the Tufts offense has really gelled here in the second quarter. They're at 9 of 11 from the field so far with 2 minutes to go. That's 2 for 4 from 3, 82% from the field. Yeah, that'll get it done for you. And, of course, Emmanuel 3 for 11 in the quarter after shooting 7 of 17 in the first, so a little bit of a drop-off. They still have plenty of time to get that number ticked back up, as the first free throw was no good for O'Boyle.
And another place Emmanuel really needs to pick it up is on the glass. I mean, they've given up 8 offensive rebounds to this Tufts team, also getting out-rebounded on the defensive end, 13-9. That's usually a place they beat opponents. I mean, they've got so much height on this team. 5 players over 6 feet, 8 players over 5'11". One place they've been 44 rebounds a game, and over a third of those come on the offensive end.
As Atuahini gets the and one on the strong move, she'll go to the line for one more. But as you were saying, yes, will they call that on the floor? They will, so no basket.
Oh, and that always hurts when you draw a lot of contact, put up a spectacular layup, and the foul, while against your opponent, only takes away your points.
So no continuation from the referees. It will remain 37-25. Ball tipped out of bounds. Still a manual possession. Eubanks. Davis guarding. Finds Metella. Mid-range jump shot, no good. Davis with the rebound. Davis to Gonzalez. One dribble. Great pass inside, but O'Boyle didn't turn around. Davis with the shot, no good. Schuerman looking to reset. Definitely want a bucket right here. Get that lead down to 10. Atuahini in to Bartash. Batted away. Another turnover. Gonzalez now. To the cutting O'Brien. To O'Boyle. Goes up. Let's see what the call is. They will call a travel.
And as I mentioned, Caitlin Bartash, one of the biggest roles on this team is as a rim protector. That's exactly who we see her role there.
Paquette now back in the game. Russell continuing to sit. Score stuck at 37-25, under 2 minutes now.
Yeah, I mean, O'Boyle standing at 6'1", very rarely faces a size mismatch, but Bartash was seeming to be effective against her in the sort of 1-2 center power forward. They work on the inside. Paquette back into the lineup. She was being effective there, and they'll look for a change.
And that was a beautiful little reverse layup from Metella, but down the other way, a quick pass into Annie Ryan, and she gets that one to go. Beautiful pass from Callie O'Brien. Really put that one on a line. The co-captain making plays as usual. So lead back to 12, 1 minute now. Metella working in the mid-range to Schuerman. Puts that one up and sinks it.
And it's a pretty backroom following jump shot, and it all starts with the solid ball handling of Metella, reading her teammate's movement as she drives, and then that sets up a nice play.
Paquette, one dribble, fadeaway jump shot, money. So still perfect from the field. Paquette has been the Jumbos maybe their best player here in the first half.
Yeah, and I mean, you want to talk about efficiency. Now that's 11-11 on 5 for 5 shooting, and she never puts down more. She hasn't put down more than one dribble before going up so far in this game. She gets the ball, and she has gotten to the fastest way to score a basket every time she has touched it so far.
And I think that's what they've been looking for from Paquette. Sometimes struggles with foul trouble, but generally it's someone who can shoot. She's got a jump shot, got size in the paint, and I think this is the ideal you're seeing from her on the little two-women game. She pops right there, That one kicked from O'Brien and turned over to Atuhini. Now 5 seconds to go. She goes to the rim, wide open. Layup is no good. Rebound, and that one will not fall. Fell off the rim at the last second. So we've reached the end of the first half here. Your score 41-29 in favor of the Jumbos. Was very close at the end of the first quarter. Second quarter was a 25-11 run for the Jumbos on 78% shooting. Notably, they took 10 threes in the first quarter and only hit 1. They took only 4 in the second quarter and hit 2. A lot of those shots in the paint put them ahead, Paquette in particular. And it has been really a great start for the Jumbos in the second quarter. We'll see what they can do in the second half. David?
Yeah, I mean, that last play sort of, there's no bucket out of it, but that's where they're going to want to look more in the second half. Two things worked super well. I mean, Paris Atuhini, she's had a pretty good job running the ball from the point so far. Solid blow-by move. She has so much speed and agility. She gets to the bucket, can't get the layup to fall. Then second chance points. That's maybe somewhere that's somewhere they usually dominate, and they might look for more of an advantage in the second half. Right, we saw Eubanks get that board. She wasn't able to finish either. But if they can turn up the offensive rebounding and get to where they have been for the past in this season, they could get back in this game.
Absolutely. A lot of time left to go here at Cousins Gymnasium. So second half, we'll be back on JumboCast, and we have a little special treat from our seniors in the club, Amateur Hour.
Have you ever been watching a sports game and thought to yourself, I could do what those guys just did? Well, so have we. And so today, I decided to bring 4 of my ordinary friends along to test our might against some of Tufts University's finest athletes. This is the JumboCast Amateur Hour. Today we're here at Cousins Gymnasium, home of the Tufts volleyball team, and we're going to try our hand at a little game of serving. There's 5 of us right now, and so we decided to bring 5 members of the Tufts volleyball team here to take us on. Hello. Are y'all ready to go?
Hey,
we're ready.
Let's get into it.
I'm Maddie. I'm a senior setter.
I'm Becca. I'm a DS outside from Seattle, Washington.
My role is to run the offense.
My role as a DS libero is to lead by a strong mentality, go for every ball, talk on the court, just have a loud presence.
Yeah, I feel pretty confident in my serving. It's improved over the course of the season.
I don't want to give you material, so I'm just going to say, yes, I feel really confident.
Probably started playing volleyball when I was 10 or 11.
I was told, quote, you have a lot of game knowledge, but physically, compared to the rest of the applicants, I could not match, and I was cut.
My freshman year, I played with a couple people on my floor. Did they just use me as sort of a ball boy? Yeah.
The only reason I know anything about volleyball is because before my sophomore year of high school, I watched the first 3 seasons of Haikyuu in like 2 weeks. And now I am just very familiar. That taught me how the game works. If I had to compare myself to a Haikyuu character, I would probably be Oikawa because I'm really hot.
I think the last time I played volleyball was in Germany with Lily.
Daniel did beat me, but he did have quite a tall Frenchman on his team who was quite intimidating, named Paul. So we'll see how he does without said Frenchman.
Lily is better in that she has more skills, but I do bring team spirit.
The name of the game is Serving Around the World. 2 teams going up against each other. One member of those teams will be on the other side of the net, sitting in one of the 6 rotation spots on the court. You have to serve the ball close enough to that person that while sitting can catch the ball. If they catch the ball, the person who serves the ball that was caught then moves 1 rotation ahead and sits on the floor there. Goal of the game, go through all 6 rotations before the opposing team.
Hey guys, Andrew from the future here. Quick thing before we get started. Because the volleyball team is going to be so much better than us at this, we decided to have them go around 2 times before we tried to get around once. That'll be important later. On with the video.
It's going to be really hard for you guys.
If you're at the stage of like middle school level, sometimes they can't quite get it over the net.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's the boat that
there's a lot of
in.
missed serves.
Yeah.
I think we'll do great.
I'm going to carry this bunch of sorry bums to a victory. I'll be spectacular. I'll surprise some people.
There's no teamwork in this game. Let's be honest here, folks. It's you get up there, you get all the pressure on you, you go for it or you don't go for it.
9 years ago, I started playing volleyball, so I have a lot of experience compared to the rest of the JumboCasters. I think we might stand more of a chance than people believe.
I think it's funny that Jordan Burke says this is his specialty, As I remember, freshman year, he DM'd one Miss Tori Golden and said he played outdoors. And he meant to say outside. He played the position outdoors. Yeah.
That's all you
Jordan
need
Burke,
to know about his
outdoors
skill.
hitter.
You heard it here.
I would like to point out the fact that I most definitely didn't say that, and this was almost certainly the doing of my roommate Isaac.
He can't even own up to his trash talking, so.
This is the first time I've touched a volleyball in like 5 years.
My team is terrible.
All right, who's ready? Are we ready to go? Oh, wait, that was actually not bad. Okay, wait, hold on.
Good, Alina.
That's 4.
Two.
Oh, they already got one. That's not good.
They've got one? Oh my god.
No, that was a rough start, but good.
Oh, jeez.
So right off the bat, I noticed that Lily was the one sitting down to start things off. And now that I'm thinking about it a little bit more, that was probably not the best decision. We clearly had two very good volleyball players in Jordan and Lily. We probably should have started them both behind the service line. Instead, we had Lily kind of stuck there for a while as none of us could get the ball over to her, and I feel like that was a missed opportunity to maybe get at least another rotation on the board.
Probably should have had Daniel or Andrew sit. I don't think volleyball is where their talents lie.
Oh!
Jordan, what am I supposed to do?
I thought you were good at this.
Oh, no. On the second serve I had, put the ball right next to Lily. Lily didn't catch it.
You gotta keep your butt on the ground. That is the rules of the game. I think Jordan just likes people to cheat.
Yes!
Guys, this is really bad. Please put any amount of effort into this.
Oh, nice.
Yes! We got one! Oh, they already finished! Shoot.
Oh my god. I shouldn't have reminded them that they had to go around twice, and we should have kept playing and left them confused and maybe tried to steal a rotation before they could realize what was going on.
I'm not gonna talk about.
Oh!
I'm not gonna talk about that one. Good.
Oh, that would have hit the first one, maybe.
Yeah, this is hard.
This is not good. That's it. Oh, Ethan!
This new generation of sports fans are all into these advanced analytics and these like advanced stats. The thing that matters at the end of the day is the score that you put up on the board, right? I generated one of the 4. Daniel did not. Thank you very much.
Good, Q. Why am I rooting for them?
Catch it, even!
Is that a catch?
Hey. Number 6 and 6.
Oh. Lily. Okay.
Daniel, by the end, I don't think was even taking serves. He was just shagging balls for me to take serves.
People who've known me for a long time know I'm a team player. Saw that Lily and Jordan are 2 superstars. They need some balls, so decided to make myself useful.
Oh, yes, good.
Oh, that's 3. Okay, we made it like halfway. That's like pretty good. Is that 4?
Good.
Go.
Hey. Well done.
That was worse than the field goal.
Great job.
Good game.
Great game.
So, that didn't go too well.
It's a tough loss. I don't know. I expected a lot more from us as a unit.
I think I hit the ball a couple times, and it went over the net like a couple times as well. Sometimes it didn't.
So maybe if we practiced as a team, we could have come close, because we were only 2 rotations away, despite the fact that they had to go through twice.
I think we should have, in hindsight, played a game where we could have used our height advantage over the volleyball team. Instead, we played a game of pure skill.
Jamie, our boss, was also there watching, and I think he thinks of me a little bit lesser now.
I think Jamie actually probably was surprised. I don't think he thinks we're particularly athletic.
It's not a great look, but Jamie was expecting that, I'm sure.
The way Jordan was talking about being an outdoors hitter, I thought, he'd have it in the bag. We'd at least be able to complete one lap. But being indoors as an outdoors hitter, I'm sure that put him in a tough spot.
Today I learned I can't trust my fellow JumboCast seniors. I had 2 successful targets and 1 catch, which accounts for 3 of the 4 rotations that we had. So basically, I did everything. I physically cannot do everything for these people. I mean, they're just total garbage, like literally hot trash. Although hot trash might even be a stretch, because at least hot trash has like something going on there, some sort of heat and chemistry. So more like just waste of space, actually. We'll go with that one.
I think we did pretty good. I was so focused on our side, I didn't even notice the competition in Zone 3 when we were in Zone, technically 12. But
I was impressed, though. I thought you guys did very well. So kudos to you guys for almost completing the circle.
I had a lot of fun, and good job, everyone.
Thanks for having us.
Well, I'm going to keep it a buck. We got our asses handed to us. They were very, very good. Well, thank you very much to the Tufts women's volleyball team for taking the time to compete with us. And that's going to be it. We'll see you next time on the JumboCast Amateur Hour.
Thank you, JumboCast!
So hypnotic, magical. Don't wanna let you know you're so hypnotic, magical. Don't wanna let you know you're so hypnotic, magical.
All right, we are back here at Cousins Gymnasium for this matchup between Emmanuel College and Tufts University. It's been an interesting back and forth game so far today in the first half, but ended up with the Jumbos pulling out to an 11-point lead. So it is 41-29 as we near the start of the second half. Looking at the box score, what we watched the first half, what really jumped out to you about the Jumbos, and alternatively, what do Emmanuel have to improve on to get that lead down a little bit heading into the second half?
Yeah, I mean, one thing that Emmanuel did well points off turnovers. I mean, they were creating turnovers, 8 total for the Jumbos to their 7, so creating more turnovers than they gave up, which has not been a strong point for them this season. And then they got a number of points off the turnover. The deficit that they gave up in points in the paint, which is where they usually excel, is something that they're trying to get back in that way. And, I mean, you talked about how it was close to the first quarter. I mean, 9 lead changes, 5 times the game was tied. What really allowed Tufts to jump out in the second quarter was just shooting the ball.
Yeah, 100%. And I think you point out some interesting stats there. 24-14 advantage in the paint for Tufts is big. I think if you are Emmanuel and you win this game, you got to flip that. You got to be dominating in the paint. I think 10-4 advantage on the fast break, big for Tufts. They've been pushing the pace. So you've seen Sophia Davis. You've seen multiple people really get in there. And then 22 points from the bench. A lot of that is Paquette, but there's been contributions from Davis, Aspazi, Foliard, Annie Ryan. Everyone's getting involved. Maggie Russell back in the game to start the second half. Maybe a little banged up, we think, but nonetheless healthy enough to play. I think if you're up big in this game, maybe don't want to tax her anyways, as Decker takes a floater and gets it to go to start the half.
Yeah, I mean, I talked about that first quarter. What worked for Emmanuel was they were pushing Tufts outside. 10 3-pointers taken, only one of them went in, right, which brought their overall field goal percentage down to 31.8%. Second half, Tufts moves away from the 3, crashes inside. When they do take the 3, it goes in, right? They hit 50%. But when they go inside, it's even better. 79% from the field in the second quarter.
Russell passes to Gonzalez, rejected at the rim, fight for the ball, diving as Gonzalez tied up, and a jump ball will be Emmanuel possession. That was after Matella missed a little runner in the paint on the other end of the court. Jill Pace arguing a bit with the referee, but it will be Emmanuel possession. Robinson stripped by Gonzalez. That's a steal for her. Decker into the paint. Pump fake goes up. Holds it back out to O'Brien, and a double dribble from Decker. A little bit of a mistake right there.
Yeah, and I mean, we talked about the height and the blocking and rebounding ability they have all down this roster. When you've broken out and gotten that much space, you know, for Annika Decker, you have to think your better strategy is to go straight up with it than to wait for Olivia Matella, who can block a shot and be a post presence, to catch back up.
Atuhini Euro step and lays it off, but no good from Desiree Robinson. Now Maggie Russell, hesitation with the right hand, is fouled. Bartash's first foul of the game. For Tufts to Russell only have 2 points in the first half, but be up over 10. Probably a pretty big deal for them. That is her third point of the game on the made free throw.
Yeah, and I mean, you talked about them getting 22 points off their bench compared with only 5 for Emmanuel. They also had just really solid efficiency off the bench. The best, point plus minuses coming off the bench. Ania Spacey, 19 points. This team was so effective when she was on the court in the first half, and a lot of that came from her rebounding on both ends of the ball.
Atuhini wanted the foul, no call. Russell pushing yet again. Dribble to the left hand, puts it up with the right. Batted away by Souza. Atuhini 2-on-1, or 1-on-2. Euro step right hand, and good. And 1 for Atuhini.
And if you like basketball, you had fun watching that play, because that is just a pretty little move with a 1-on-2. She dribbles in to keep O'Brien on her back shoulder, hits a little left to right hand, one over step to the side, and lays it up with a little George Gervin finger roll.
If you don't like that, you don't like Division III basketball. I'll tell you that.
No. Do you love the game?
I love the game.
There's the litmus test for you.
Free throw is up and good. Lead cut to 13. Russell looking pretty spry, if there was any doubts about being banged up in the first half. Decker looking to direct the offense, communicating with O'Brien. Souza now will set a screen. It's a strong screen. Back out to Russell. Goes right, back to Souza. Little turnaround move, puts the shot up off glass, long off the back rim. Robinson is swarmed, but gets out of it behind the back, and she will advance it. Long pass to Schuerman. Will take the 3. No good.
And that's their first miss of the game. Not taking too many, only 3 so far, but
Quickly back in
First one that
transition.
hasn't
Souza
followed.
bumped, and the foul. Just continuing to shoot the lights out is Samantha Souza that time. And one, and she'll go to the line to extend the Tufts lead.
And we've talked about her finishing ability inside this season and her efficiency down low. She was 4 for 6 in the first half, creating all those shots herself with some really solid post moves. This time, she doesn't have a lot of space, but she gets the bucket and the contact anyway.
Souza knocks down the free throw.
And there's another area of efficiency for her. Prior to the MIT game, she was yet to miss one on the season. She's back in rhythm here today.
Nifty move from Matella. Wants the foul, doesn't get it. Gonzalez down to Souza the other way. Bobbles it, but it will stay Jumbo possession. Jumbo's doing a really good job getting the ball out quickly off a rebound. Quick outlets have got them a lot of points in transition so far. They had 10 fast break points in the first half, already adding on to that here. As O'Brien takes it to the top of the key, drives right, gets a lane, tries to get it to Russell. Had a good idea there, but just intercepted at the last second.
And reading the passing lane's been one bright spot for the Emmanuel defense so far, and it started with Eubanks down low. She's done a great job of reading the drive and pass so far.
Turnover through the legs of Eubanks. Decker drives, finds Souza, right hand, and good. And the turnovers.
Bread and butter.
Yes, bread and butter right there. Turnovers coming back to haunt Emmanuel a little bit. You know, they only had 7 in the first half, averaging 23 turnovers per game on the season. Really been their weak spot. And right there, a point-off turnover for the Jumbo. So as we enter a timeout, lead has been extended already to 18 for Tufts. They've picked up right where they left off.
And another thing we saw Tufts start to do when they ran away with that lead in the second quarter rather, was running with the ball. We know that's something they love to do. It's not really what they're doing in the first quarter, a lot of slowing it down and running their offensive sets, but they've looked to up the pace of the game so far, and it's been working.
I think they've identified that as a weakness for Emmanuel. Emmanuel, again, a big team. Aside from maybe Atuhini, not the fastest team. They've got a lot of size. And, you know, Decker maybe only 5'4", O'Brien around 5'8", but, you know, they're quick. And they get out in transition, and they can make you pay even with that size differential. And I think been a big focus for the Jumbos. Clearly, you can see the outlet passes right away off the rebound, and that's really led to this 18-point lead. Time may be running out to cut into it for Emmanuel. Not that they have been playing incredibly poorly here in the second half. The Jumbos have just really been on their game with their shooting numbers just so efficient. In the third quarter so far, they are 3 for 6. And that was after a third quarter where they were 11 for 14. So on the game at 50%, and I think that will really do it for you.
And as Mattello brings up the ball, she led this team with 9 points in the first half. They might look to her to try and just get some quick buckets and get them back in it.
Atuhini gets the floater to go, but whistled for the travel in the paint, so no good. As Decker will look to bring the ball back up.
And I'm surprised that with the except of Kalia Sanders currently in the lineup, this team hasn't looked a little bit more to their younger players in the second half, because those were the players with the best efficiency, the best plus-minus in the first half, especially in terms of their bigs.
Gonzalez swishes a 3, her third of the game, and that lead is getting dangerously close to 20. Sherman wants to respond, and Sherman gets that one to go on a quick move.
She's also been somewhere they can look for a quick bucket when they've given up a couple in a row and have been struggling with the momentum of the game.
Russell mid-range rims out. Schuerman with the rebound. Got Matella on the left side of the court. She finds her. Crossover. Cross-court pass over the outstretched fingertips of Atuhini, and a turnover as Paquette will re-enter the game. So Paquette and Russell will remain. Duo of bigs should be something that Tufts will look to exploit.
And I mean, I've already talked about it a couple times, but Paquette's play so far is reason to put her back in. I think I've seen her, and we talked about this at the half, drop the ball to the floor once in this game, and yet she has 11 points on 5 for 5 shooting.
Russell short jump shot is short. Great pass from Atuhini inside to Schuerman, and a fast break bucket for Emmanuel. No slowing down for the Jumbos, though. Gonzalez open, kicks to Decker. Back to Gonzalez. Will pull up from 3, but just long. Atuhini always putting her head down. Euro step and a foul called. Let's see who the foul is on. It is on Annika Decker. Gonzalez made a late play on the ball, but foul on the body from Decker. And Atuhini knocks down the first free throw. Really has been a solid game for her. That's going to be her 9th point. 3 for 7 from the field, 1 of 1 from 3, and she's already got 8 rebounds and 2 assists. So, only 5'3", but a solid rebounder at her position. We mentioned earlier she was really the star of the team at Northern Vermont University Johnson. They're struggling without her. They're only 1-8, but she averaged only over 20 points, over 6 rebounds, over 6 assists there. Transferred to Emmanuel, been a big pickup for them and contributing today for sure.
And part of what allowed her to do that there and has allowed her to be successful here so far is her ability that you talked about to put her head down, drive strong to the basket, and also to convert when she does draw contact down low, as tends to be the case. She's drawing fouls, and she's 85% from the line so far this year. A bright spot for this team who's really struggled there.
Turns it over on that possession. The Jumbos slow it down on the break. Here's Russell going right and fouled again.
And Eubanks turns to the ref with her hands up, perhaps signaling what I do, proper defensive stance down low. But when you draw that amount of contact, sometimes it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it looked like a foul from up here.
Inside the circle, too, I think that might be why they call feet moving.
Yeah. No rule of verticality.
Yeah.
Didn't jump.
Yeah.
So 2 free throws for Russell. O'Brien, missed the first free throw, excuse me. O'Brien, Gonzalez, Paquette remain in the game with Russell. Haven't seen a lot of the bench for Emmanuel, as you mentioned, really sticking with their tried and true players, but here we see Shakira Katant back in the game alongside Kayla Saunders. So first action for Saunders today. She's a freshman, again, 6'1", so more height for this team that can seemingly never get enough. Offensive foul on Emmanuel. Eubanks on the foul. So they've whittled down the lead a little bit, to 16. 4 minutes, 22 seconds to go in the third quarter. O'Brien looking to get on the board.
And Eubanks picking up her 4th foul now. She's been a strong presence for them in the post so far. They're hoping she can control fouls and be able to stay in the game.
Back in a zone is Emmanuel. That might help. Paquette going to take the jump shot and knock it down. Perfect from the field. Michaela Paquette, breakout game.
And some things that you turn on, you just never turn off. And Michaela Paquette's shot has been one of those things so far. 6 for 6 with 2 coming now from the mid-range.
Long jump shot, good from Eubanks on the other end, so a response again in the mid-range keeps the lead at 16. O'Brien finds Gonzalez. She's got Paquette in the post, goes to Russell. Russell looks back to Gonzalez, pump fake, behind the back. Nothing doing but a nice crossover. Paquette fakes the shot, and it's called for the travel. She hit it anyways, so still perfect even though that shot didn't count.
Yeah, and the way she you might not notice the way that she creates all of the baskets she's getting, but the off-ball movement is really spectacular. There's a reason that she's always open when she first touches the ball, and it's because she's letting her defender be distracted by trying to double or reading on to who has the ball and then getting to the open space.
And she's got a really fundamentally sound jump shot. Always looks like it's going in and has gone in so far today. Playing defense in the paint right there. Katant misses the scoop layup. Gonzalez back to Sam Souza, top of the key 3. Up and bounces just off the rim. Offensive rebound, Annie Ryan, and throws that one away. Eubanks finds Atuhini, layup, good.
And once again, reading the passing lanes, a bright spot on the defensive end. But you have to think that Coach Yasinov wants to address the miscommunication that allowed Sam Souza to be that wide open from deep.
Souza dribbles with the left, throws it just behind O'Brien. Ball batted around, out of bounds, will remain Jumbo possession.
And a nice hustle play by Adahini to try and take advantage of the sloppy pass, but it'll stay here.
Gonzalez drives with the left, Euro step right, beautiful move, and gets it to go. A little English from Sofia Gonzalez and a 16-point lead.
And the thing I said about loving basketball applies here too. Here's your second litmus test.
If you don't love that, you don't love D3 basketball. Looks like we'll see our first sighting of Hannah Kelly today. She enters the game, number 22. But a timeout will be called, so we'll have to wait a minute on that one. 58-42 is the score with 2 minutes and 7 seconds left here in the second half. Jumbo's going deeper into their bench, as we've seen success so far from a lot of different players, particularly, as we mentioned, Michaela Paquette now up to 13 points on 6 of 6 shooting.
Yeah, and I mean, that's really been what's changed for Tufts is shooting. They were struggling early, but once they got it to start falling, they never stopped. And the reason they've run away with this game is just been their ability to get the right shots.
You know, we talked about it earlier, and maybe a little bit of this can be chalked up to Emmanuel missing one of their star players, Yunmen Chen. Of course, the player of the year in the GNAC last year, truly a star for the team. Maybe it can be chalked up to that, but if you're in a game where Maggie Russell only has 5 points and you're up by this much, that was something we did not see last year. It was Maggie Russell or death, and at the end of the day, she really had to carry them a lot of time towards the end of the season. If you could continually have your bench contribute like this and get all-around production, Gonzalez, Souza, Paquette, etc.
In this case being Crossett, who sees her first minutes since January, as you mentioned at the start of this game, and the Tufts big rotation is looking dangerously strong at this point.
Yeah, I have to agree. I mean, looking at what we've seen so far today, to add Crossett, knowing what she did, albeit in only 17 games last year, is just an unbelievable addition to a group that is already playing incredibly strongly. Ball batted around for Emmanuel, back up from Catan, and gets it to go. But really, I mean, a luxury to add a player like Crossett, you know, coming off an injury, but still someone who was over 50% from the field last year. We'll see how she can contribute here today. We'll maybe get some run in this second half. They're looking for her in the paint. Gets it, goes up, and is fouled immediately. So 2 free throws for Sarah Crossett in her return to D3 action.
Yeah, and I mean, you have Maggie Russell, then the way Sam Souza has improved down low this season, then the way Michaela Paquette is playing in this game down low, your rotation is already looking scary. And then to get a player that was averaging 11 and 6 in her freshman campaign back into the lineup, this is almost a dream come true if you're a Tufts Jumbo fan.
Yeah, this team, again, didn't really lose many players to graduation last year. You had Joelle Zeleny graduate, who was a rotation piece, but not a big-time scorer for the team. So to have a player like Souza, who's already on the roster, take such a big step forward and then, you know, bring someone back from injury like Crossett is just, again, huge for a team that has already shown improvement in some other ways. So yes, 5-2 might not be where they want it to be, as Crossett gets her first points of the season. Still a lot to that looks bright for this team. Matella, another beautiful crossover move, goes up with the left hand. We'll see if they call that a shooting foul. She has really impressed me with her dribbling inside the arc so far today.
Yeah, and once again, Emmanuel not able to get that continuation call. They're putting that one on the floor, but wouldn't matter if she finished that one anyways. But as you said, that crossover, strong drive move, really impressive.
Her 3 right there, off, rebound, and fouled is Schuerman. So she'll go to the line for 2 more. You know, Emmanuel hanging in it. Game is not over, 15-point lead, and they're not letting it get a lot higher than that. So as the Jumbos maybe cool down a little bit, an opportunity for that lead to be whittled down.
Yeah, and you see an offensive rebound there, which I mentioned has been a strong point for them. Their hustle has never let up, and they know they're not completely out of this game. If they keep up the way they're playing and perhaps see a shift in Tufts momentum, they could get back in this game.
Second free throw good, so she splits the pair. 14-point lead, under a minute now, as Decker kicks to Hannah Kelly. Backdoor pass from Crossit is picked off. Tuhini pushing as usual. Left hand puts it up with the right and a foul. Strong move to go left, come back the other direction, and a lot of contact.
And, I mean, Emmanuel's offensive production has never really wavered. Tufts, of course, really heating up, but they had 18 in the first quarter, 11 in the second quarter, now a 16 already with 45 to play in the third quarter. It worked. It was enough for them in the first quarter, and they're hoping that if Tufts sort of leans back towards that style of basketball, it can be enough for them again.
I mean, I think Emmanuel's offensive philosophy is pretty clear. You know, they're at 37% of the field, which is pretty much in line where they've been this year, but they don't shoot threes, only 5 attempts in the game, but they are relentless in putting their head down, trying to go to the paint, try to get good shots. You know, some of those haven't fallen so far, and they are down, but the offensive philosophy has been clear, and they've stuck to it throughout, thick and thin, no matter what the lead is. So as they continue to bring this lead down almost close to 10 now, worth noting that they clearly know what they're looking for on the offensive end.
Yeah, and through 8 games, I mean, everybody on the starting lineup, from the centers to the guards, has over 25 rebounds. So everybody crashes as well, and that's an element that they have not wavered on in this game.
So zone moving around, looks like a 3-2 zone. As Crossit pump fakes, goes up, no good. Rebound to herself and is fouled. So Crossit hasn't got a field goal to go, but is making plays in the paint and will be back at the line for 2 more shots.
Yeah, and it seems lack of confidence, not a concern from her entering this game. She's been straight to the basket, go up with it every time she's gotten it, and it's created the contact that she's needed to put points on the board.
Yeah, we saw that as a freshman. You know, not many freshmen come in to Cousins and start from day one, but she did, and not many freshmen come in and score 16 points from day one, and she did. So no surprise to see her come back and make an impact immediately. I think the hope is that long-term, get her fully healthy and really a dynamic second or third option for this team. Misses the second free throw, but Souza gets the rebound. Hannah Kelly kicks it back up to O'Brien. Under 14 seconds left. Shot clock is off. See what they look for. O'Brien. Back to Souza from 3. Short. Rebound. Matella will not get the shot off, so we will enter the fourth quarter with the game at 60-46, a 14-point lead for the Jumbos. Emmanuel, as I said, hanging in there. Going to have to do a lot of work to get that down to a tie or a win for them in the fourth quarter. But certainly a lot of interesting basketball left to be played.
Yeah, and I mean, if I'm talking about Tufts' offensive strategy, this is something we've seen work for them in a few games. When the deep ball isn't falling, the way their field goal percentage has increased dramatically when they've had early shooting struggles. But the difference hasn't just been they started shooting better. The difference has been that they started taking the right shots.
Yep.
And that's exactly the shift that they've made today. They've leaned towards their mid-range players who are comfortable there. They've dropped it inside and had their low-down drive and kick passing that's created layups. They've stopped taking as many three-pointers. Their three-point percentage is still 21%. Right? They didn't turn it on from 3 as opposed to their first quarter performance, but they found the shots that they need to win this game, and that's why they're currently sitting with a 14-point lead.
And, I mean, if you look at the box score, a lot of things don't jump out too much. The rebounding battle, you know, Tufts is winning by 4. That's not a huge difference. A free throw battle, they have 1 more. That's not a huge difference. They only have 1 more 3 made, and they've taken 14 more. So that, if anything, is leaning maybe towards Emmanuel. But still, they've pulled ahead, mainly because, as you said, again, first of all, turnover battle, 15 for Emmanuel, well below their season average, 13 for the Jumbo, so not a huge difference. But the bench points, 26, and I would point out the assists, 19 assists for the Jumbos, 8 for Emmanuel. So the ball movement has just been a little bit better, and that's led to a lot of easier looks. So, again, not that many discrepancies, and yet we see a 14-point lead. Emmanuel definitely has a shot to get back in it as play begins here. Matella. First time we've seen Bartash and Katant share the floor today. That's 2, tall players who have played big roles on this team. Katant was the starter before today's game. As we said, she's had a rough year, but someone they've trusted in years past, was their starter last season as well. Sharing the floor with Bartash, so a good defensive duo in the paint. Again, in a 2-3 zone now.
Yeah, and as I mentioned, Bartash, I mean, her performance in the first half doesn't blow you away on the stat sheet, but this team is better when she's on the court. Right, they only gave up 2. They were only down by 2 in time when she was on the court, which is no short amount of time. It was around 15 minutes in the first half. her rim protection on the defensive end and also her role in catching and kicking on the offensive end really plays a role, even if you don't see that, in her stats.
A blocking foul was called, and now Coach Yasinov having some words with the referee. Referees direct players to return to their benches. We'll see if we can figure out what's going on right now.
Yeah, and we can't hear him over here, so I usually like to spend time like this talking about basketball.
Something to do with the scoreboard, it seems, but continue.
We talked about how passing has worked so well for this Tufts team. There's been so little hero ball, and I mean, of course that isn't the usual for Tufts, but they have so many sources right now, and that's what's allowed their offense to work so effectively. The drive and kick. When that's not working, it's not because players aren't driving and kicking, it's because the drive and kicks historically in the early season, they struggled with making sharp passes sometimes. There would be sloppiness, it would create turnovers. They wouldn't read defenders sliding into passing lanes. Today, that hasn't really been a problem with them, and that's what's allowed them to really just win the assist battle by such an extensive margin and make solid plays down low.
So whatever the issue was, it has apparently been resolved. Now back on the offensive end, Galanis for three, no good. Sophia Davis fights for the offensive rebound but can't get it. Back the other way, Schuerman. It's a 1-on-3. She pulls up and knocks it down.
And I mean, I've said the words bread and butter too often. She's really good at that shot.
She is.
We've seen her pull up, stop on a dime, and pull up from around 10 feet, around 5 times this game, and that's somewhere that she can look to for a basket.
O'Brien knocks down the mid-range jump shot. That is really her bread and butter, as you mentioned that. Haven't seen her take a lot of those today, but has been something she has gone to time and time in the past. So O'Brien gets on the board. Lead back up to 14. Inside to Catant. Double teamed, goes under. Just unable to get that one to fall. Rebound to Galanis, and she will run the point. Gonzalez checks the baseline. She is in bounds. Back up to Galanis. Russell in the middle. Gonzalez cannot pull up for three because Jill Pace called a timeout. So 8 minutes and 15 seconds to go, and the lead is 14. Emmanuel continuing to fight. The Jumbos continuing to fight back.
Yeah, and I mean, as you mentioned, Tufts had that really strong run in the second quarter, but this lead really has been stabilized by Emmanuel at around 15. It hasn't really gotten anywhere since. Yeah, the question is, can they close it in 8 minutes?
First quarter, 18-16, Emmanuel. Third quarter, 19-17, Tufts. Second quarter, 25-11, Tufts. That has been the difference so far. That run they went on, didn't really miss a shot. Unfortunately, timed with Emmanuel going cold. And ever since then, you're right, the lead is pretty much stabilized. So Emmanuel maybe kicking themselves that they let it get away in the second quarter. That being said, good signs that perhaps they have a chance to get back in this. 8 minutes and 15 seconds left to go.
And they've sort of stabilized, the Tufts run inside, right? They've upped their interior defense, worked it there. Their offense has gotten back to running smoothly. I don't really doubt that this Emmanuel team can keep it at 15 points for 8 minutes. The question is, do they have the offensive firepower to make up a 15-point lead?
100%. Galanis takes it. Rebound Russell, back up. Rebound Davis, back up, no good. Some physical play, but no call, and then a foul on Sophia Davis.
They heard you talking. They said, well, I guess it was a pretty physical play, Jared.
So we see Megan Riley again back in the game for Emmanuel. Atuhini behind the back move, goes up, rejected by Gonzalez, but a foul on the body. You're right, Gonzalez has really made some great plays coming off the strong side and just making a play on the ball, but a little bit too late.
Yeah, that's her second time now getting a kind of highlight reel block from an off ball, but
both
the first time Annika Decker, they called the foul on the body, and this time they will call a foul on Gonzalez.
Scream from the crowd doesn't affect Atuhini. Knocks down the first free throw.
A tired onlooker with a little bit of a yawn there with a shot. And unbothered would be the word I would use to describe that trip to the line. Not surprising. As we mentioned, that's a strong point for her.
12 points, pretty manageable so far for Emmanuel. They remain in a zone look. Russell to O'Brien. Souza kicks to Gonzalez. Cross-court pass to O'Brien. Trying to find a hole in this defense. Gonzalez again. Russell, strong defensive play from Schuerman. They call a foul, and they're going to call it on Russell diving for the ball. So a turnover forced, and maybe some momentum brewing for Emmanuel.
And I mean, even if you're drawing a foul, that's a really smart play from Maggie Russell. Even if you create the contact draws a foul, if you don't, that's sort of an automatic 2 points for Schuerman. As you said, 12 points, lowest it's been in a while now.
Atuhini goes left. Looks like she took an extra step there, and she did indeed. Whistled for the traveling violation.
Yeah, those are the ones that maybe some NBA superstars get away with, but pretty clearly a third step, and you're not going to get away with that with the baseline referee getting that clear view of the move.
Yeah, we saw that from here. Russell now kicks out to O'Brien. This zone proving difficult to crack. Souza was making a cut to the back door, but just had the ball go through her hands. Interesting lineup we've continued to see with Paquette and Russell on the floor, looking for some offensive firepower, but unable to find it so far here in the fourth.
Yeah, and once again, that's what's worked for them is that sort of drive, backdoor cut, off-ball movement towards the basket. But on that play, we see the sort of not either not a perfect pass or not a perfect reception, not expecting the ball, which has been a struggle for them so far this season.
O'Brien pivots. Paquette up, no good, but she'll draw the foul, so her perfect game from the field continues as she'll go to the line. So far in the fourth quarter, Jumbos only have 2 points, and they're 1 of 6 from the field. So both teams have been off to a bit of a slow start in the fourth quarter. See if Paquette can extend that lead from the free throw line.
And
she can. Hits both. Continuing, just has been the best game of the season so far for Michaela Paquette. Have to wonder if she will be the recipient of more consistent playing time following this game.
Yeah, 14 points for her so far in 13 minutes. Giving the ball to her has been basically like printing out free points so far for this Tufts team.
Wonder if they go back to that late in this one. Little nifty up and under move from Matella. That's her second reverse layup of the game. Both beautiful shots, and lead still 12. Gonzalez back to Decker, inside to Russell. This is what they want. Penetrate. Gonzalez takes it. Left. Atuhini. Matella for 3. That one is butter.
And those are two things that Emmanuel loves to do. Atuhini loves to run the court, and Matella loves to pull up from 3. Second in the GNAC in three-pointers made last season. That's not a great sight for Tufts if they're trying to hold on to this lead.
Paquette airballs that one off a good pump fake, so no longer perfect from the field, but she gets back on defense. Lead under 10 for the first time in quite a while. Atuhini flies to the basket, wants the foul, doesn't get it. Rebound Gonzalez. She got Souza ahead of her. Finds Souza. Passes back to Gonzalez. They're going to call that a travel.
Yeah, and once again, Tufts getting out on the run like they like to do, but not quite being able to execute on the advantage.
Coach Pace may be a little bit exasperated. Annie Ryan will re-enter the game. 5 minutes to go. Don't want to let this one slip away. 9-point lead for the Jumbos. As I said, they're smallest in several quarters, as Atuhini kicks to Schuerman, who's played a big role today for Emmanuel. Matella to the rim, finishes.
And all of a sudden, this game is in no sense over. 7 points, 4:45 to play, and Tufts needs to figure something out on the offensive end.
Got to give credit to this zone defense from Emmanuel for really putting a lid on what had been a dynamic Tufts offense. See if they have a zone beater. They're going to go inside to Paquette, wait for the trap, kick to Decker, but she fumbles it. Paquette, mid-range jump shot, off left.
And to see two of those not find their mark, this Tufts team is a little bit worried about the trend of this game.
Offensive rebound, Bartash, and she's fouled by Paquette.
And we noted that as a point where Emmanuel could perhaps pick up some points in the second half. The offensive glass going up with second chance points. She has a chance for 2 here at the line.
I mean, it's worth noting on the offensive end, Tufts is doing the right things. Getting the ball in the middle, collapsing the zone, trying to kick out, find an open shot. They did find an open shot on that possession, but no good. The spectator continues to scream, and this time it works. Bartash misses the free throw.
And we talked about that Tufts didn't start hitting those outside shots. They switched their offensive philosophy more towards the inside catch and shoot and inside buckets. This Emmanuel team has shut that option down, and Tufts hasn't been able to respond by improving their efficiency from anywhere but the paint.
100%, and that has led to this lead being cut down to only 6 points with 4 minutes to go. Annie Ryan and Espezi have entered the game, which this late you would not usually consider as a lineup option. Espezi throws that one away, ripped by Robinson. She'll go to the rim, and that one, a good recovery from Espezi to knock it out of bounds. Inside to Bartash. Pivot. Backing down Russell. That could have been a travel, and it is.
Yeah, and we've said this many times, but they watch with the happy feet on those little post moves. Once you've dropped your pivot foot, if you're dropping another one like that, they're going to call it, even if it's a little shuffle.
So time is on the Jumbo side here as it continues to clock down. But again, really haven't been able to get anything going on offense. 1 of 9 in the quarter. It's been a 12-4 run as Souza gets in the paint and again cannot get it to fall.
And we talked about them taking the lid off the basket. Somebody sealed it right back on because just as quickly as they got hot, this whole team seems to have gone cold.
And a beautiful step-back jump shot from Matella, who has just been money for Emmanuel, and their bench is getting loud as the lead only 4 now on the heels of a 14-4 run here in the fourth quarter.
And, I mean, the simple name of the game has been putting the ball in the basket. Tufts is getting open chances from the mid-range, but just as they all seem to fall in, now they all seem to fall short, long, to the side. They can't just dial in when they need those shots to fall. They're reading the zone defense properly, but the zone defense is working because it's forcing them to the place they can't seem to get a bucket.
Yep, and we went through the box score earlier and noted that there weren't that many things separating these two teams except the score itself, and suddenly that has narrowed. Again, 4 for 23 from 3. If you're the Jumbos, I think you can see the stark difference in offensive philosophy from both of these two teams. The Jumbos, 4 threes, but they've attempted 23. Emmanuel, 4 threes, they've only attempted 6. So no matter what, they are putting their head down, they are going to the basket. The Jumbos have not been able to keep up their offensive attack here in the fourth, and it is showing on the score.
Yeah, and I mean, the best points in this game for Tufts have been when they aren't pulling up for that many threes. But this defense is forcing them to do just that, and it's working.
Again, trying to beat that zone. Russell, we'll see if she can make a move. Blocked by Bartash, who has been a rim protector so far this season. Will be out of bounds for the Jumbos, but another defensive stand.
Yeah, and blocking Maggie Russell without a foul on her.
Souza misses a gimme at the rim off a beautiful inbounds play. That could come back to bite the Jumbos. Atuahini, full head of steam, throws a crazy shot up and gets it to go. And the lead is down to 2.
And Tufts can't get the wide open layup to go. Meanwhile, Emmanuel throwing shots over the back of their head, and everything seems to find nylon.
Souza, Decker now. Just a frigid stretch for the Jumbos. A foul called. 2 minutes, 30 seconds to go, but this is a 2-point game.
And 5 minutes ago, I asked you if Emmanuel had the offensive firepower to close a 15-point lead. when you allow almost, I think it's been 2 points in 5 minutes, now make it 4. They needed that. That's the way you do it.
So Russell gets a much-needed bucket, as you mentioned, on the short jump shot off an inbounds play. Lead up to 4 now. Metella doubled, looking to facilitate. She finds Robinson. Schuerman, crossover move. Sizing up O'Brien, now back to Metella. Goes left, crosses back over, back into Schuerman. Stripped by O'Brien and recovered by Gonzalez. A huge turnover with under 2 minutes to go.
Yeah, and Tufts getting a hustle stop at the exact moment they need it. They'll look to slow it down now and get a bucket here when they desperately need it.
Russell, foot on the line, knocks that one down.
And Maggie Russell, as we said, sitting for most of the first half, but when her team needs her, it's a pair of clutch mid-range shots to bring this lead back to 6.
Penetrating yet again. Schuerman now goes up. Contact, but no call. Offensive rebound. Metella. Metella for 3. Short. Rebound to Souza. And now that clock. 1 minute, 15 seconds in a 6-point game for the Jumbos. They could put it away possibly with a bucket on this possession.
And with this team shooting almost 70% on their few attempts so far, you could feel Cousins take a sigh of relief as that one fell short.
O'Brien, mid-range. No. Fights for the rebound. That's going to be a jump ball. And it will remain Jumbo possession. So O'Brien misses the shot but makes a huge hustle play. And they will get one more shot. Clock now under 1 minute. But a timeout for Emmanuel. What a game this has become all of a sudden here in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, and after continuing her stream of struggles from the mid-range, a critical hustle play to keep the ball here from Callie O'Brien. A 6-point lead feels a lot more comfortable when you've got the ball and 30 seconds to waste if you choose than it does when the other team with a lot of offensive momentum is coming down the court against you.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, but last minute or so, Tufts stabilized it just a little bit. 2 shots from Maggie Russell, couple fouls on that end, and now a 6-point lead. I mean, it has just been a back-and-forth game, maybe one we did not expect. Fourth quarter, as we mentioned, 16-8 advantage for Emmanuel. Tufts only 3 of 15 from the field, 0 for 4 from 3. Only thing they're really winning is the offensive rebounding battle, and that big held ball from O'Brien maybe gave them another shot at sealing this game.
And I mean, that would not be coming into this game, which you'd expect us to be saying about this fourth quarter, that this tough team was really getting outshot by Emmanuel, but that their work on the offensive glass was keeping them ahead. But when one thing's not working, you got to find something to make up for it, and that's been their strategy so far.
I'd say one thing that's clear from this game is that going forward, Tufts either needs to improve their three-point shooting or commit to a more paint-focused attack. We saw today when they moved in transition, when they got good shots, they could ignore the 3-ball. But in a game where you've taken 23 and made only 4, at some point something's got to give. As we reach the final minute here in Cousins, still a close game as the referees will consult. Not sure what the call is, but it will be Tufts basketball. O'Brien to inbound, Souza. Back to O'Brien. See what the Jumbos cook up here. O'Brien, screen from Souza and fouled immediately.
Yeah, and Emmanuel trying a few seconds of keeping high perimeter pressure to try and create a turnover, and after that doesn't work, with only 52 seconds and a big old 30-second shot clock, they need to turn up the pressure and create a foul to try and get a steal on this inbound.
Russell fouled immediately. So looks like Emmanuel fit to foul their way through the rest of this game, hoping that the Jumbos will miss from the free throw line, which they have today, only 10 of 15, or 67% from the field, from the free throw line, Big free throw coming up. Russell puts it up, and it's short. So lead stays at 6. Second free throw is money. So extends the lead to 7, but still time left for Emmanuel. We'll see if they get a quick shot here. It is Atuhini to Schuerman. Driving inside, spin move. Almost gets the and one, but it just rims out, and she'll go to the free throw line for 2 shots.
Yeah, and with 2 of these, she can make it a 3-2 away from tying it up. And at this point in the game is when you really wish you had access to that 3-point shot.
we've seen Matella hit one as Schuerman misses a big first free throw. She was 1 of 2 from the line entering that shot, now 1 of 3. She has 12 points on the game and misses the second free throw as well. Battle for the rebound. Recovered by Gonzalez to Russell. We'll see how quick they can get a foul. And they do, but 2 big missed free throws right there might just seal it for the Jumbos.
Yeah, and if Russell can have a productive trip to the line now with a 7-point lead and only 37 seconds of game to play, this one could be just out of reach.
So 2 more free throws for Russell, who, only 23 minutes today, pretty low for her, has got 10 points. Now 11, makes her 5 of 7 from the free throw line, also chipped in 6 rebounds, 2 assists, and a steal. Hits both, and going to be tough now, 37 seconds and a 9-point lead. Atuahini, see if they look for a quick 3. Gonna drive, hesitation move, scoop, layup, and a foul.
And once again, Emmanuel, when you know if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Their strategy to the very end is drive to the bucket and either get a contact or 2 points.
First free throw, good.
18 points for Atahini now, matching Matella's mark for the team lead. They've both been extremely productive on this end of the ball.
Knocks down the second.
And that's somewhere she spent a lot of time in this game.
Russell fouled yet again, so we're in a bit of a free throw battle here as we are under 30 seconds to play. First free throw, good. Hits both as Russell continues to excel from the free throw line. Again, 9 points, under 25 seconds now. Atuahini. Bartash, gonna have to get a shot up here. Schuerman spins into the lane, no good. Potentially a foul, and yes, it is a loose ball foul on Maggie Russell, who came crashing in for that rebound.
And on this side of the ball, it's all intentional fouls to try and make Tufts miss and keep the game alive. On this end of the ball, it's just the simple fact that Emmanuel's offensive strategy creates an inordinate number of fouls on their opposition. They've spent a lot of time at the line so far in this game.
Russell will come off with this game all but sealed. Might be too little too late. We'll see, but Schuerman knocks down the first free throw. And sinks the second as well. So now 12.9 seconds. We'll see if they continue to foul. They trap. Souza now looks like this might be it. A dangerous pass from to Gonzalez. Ball bouncing around, 4 seconds on the clock. And a jump ball will be Emmanuel possession, but with 3.8 seconds left, that should do it here at the Cousins Gymnasium. Ball inbounded, 3-pointer up and short. Gonzalez with the rebound, and that'll do it. A victory for the Tufts Jumbos, 73-66, your final score. It has really was, a phenomenal game in the end. Tufts pulled out to a big lead in the second quarter, but over the course of the second half, and especially the fourth quarter, it was whittled down by Emmanuel. They got it within 2, but the Jumbos just managed to pull out at the end and seal a victory. So a lot to learn, I think, for both teams today. A valiant effort for Emmanuel, but the Jumbos come out on top.
Yeah, and I mean, we talked about it was sort of every quarter looked like a different game of basketball. I mean, the first and third quarters pretty even, both these teams sort of fighting back and forth. The second quarter, Tufts dominance. They found what worked for them inside, catch and shoot, low balls. In the fourth quarter, Emmanuel's defense really caught fire, working with the zone effectively and getting a lot to fall on the offensive end, driving to the basket. But in the end, it's really two solid pull-ups from Maggie Russell in the mid-range that sealed the deal for Tufts when it all looked into balance.
Yep, so a big game from Michaela Paquette. Another solid performance from Maggie Russell, and an overall team effort leads the Jumbos to a victory. Unfortunately, Emmanuel falls to 3-6, matching their loss total from all of last year. We've had a great time. My name is Jared Cohen, joined by my good friend David Latham. We will hopefully be right back with an interview. If not, please stay home safely.
So hypnotic, magical. Don't wanna let you know you're so hypnotic, magical. Don't wanna let you know you're so hypnotic, magical.
Hello, we're back. I'm here with Michaela Paquette after Tufts win tonight. Michaela, you had 15 points that night on 6 for 8 shooting, really an efficient performance, and we saw you come on the bench and really turn the tide of the game in the second quarter. Was that part of the game plan going in, or did that just sort of start to happen naturally?
Yeah, for sure. Coach is always talking about, like everybody has a role, so when it's your numbers called, just get in there and do what you do. So that was the plan, and I got the minutes and I got in there, but it's always fun playing, so I enjoy it every single time I step on the floor.
Yeah, and that sort of allowed you guys to amass that lead, and then in the fourth quarter, they did have that run, 12-point run to react to a 2-point game. You guys weathered the storm. What was going through y'all's heads as they made that run, and what allowed y'all to sort of turn the momentum?
Yeah, we know who we are, so we walk in every gym knowing we can win the game. So just keeping with that and just playing our game and hitting shots and celebrating each other. So.
Speaking of walking in the gym knowing you can win the game, a serious test in the next game against number 1 NYU. They're undefeated.
Yeah.
What's the outlook going into that game?
It's no
Does
problem.
it change?
No problem. We got a game plan. We're going to stick to it. We're going to win the game.
Awesome.
Yeah.
There you have it.
Thank you.
No lack of confidence. Thank you very much. Thank you to our whole crew, and thank you to you for joining us tonight. We'll see you soon. Awesome. Great answers. Thank you.
So hypnotic, magical.